Presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. This episode was taped prior to the World Trade Center tragedy. It features firefighters who are lost or missing due to their heroic attempts to save others. Not only did we profile them and their work, they became our friends. It is our wish to dedicate this program to these courageous individuals. Coming up on The Bravest.
This was a car body shop, and it was divided off, which really blocked the engine to get water on it.
On September 11th, the world was changed forever when the unthinkable happened. As the fires burned and the sounds of sirens pierced the air, hundreds of New York City's bravest answered the call. They did so not for fame or fortune, but for the love of humanity. Courageous and determined, they did what they had always done: respond to those who needed their help the most. Countless numbers of survivors were spared because of their selfless bravery. When the towers crumbled, America was dealt a staggering blow. Within minutes, thousands of people, along with nearly 350 heroic firefighters, perished in an image that will be burned into our minds forever. These were valiant firefighters, willing to put their lives on the line so that others could live. In the weeks prior to the tragedy, we were privileged to work with and profile many of the men that are now lost. The firefighters you will see in the following tribute are all victims of this disaster, yet their words live on. This entire series is dedicated to them and all the innocent people who lost their lives in the World Trade Center tragedy.
Born for firefighting. Ever since I was a kid, you know, I knew what I wanted to do. And organized chaos is a fire.
With the fire service, I guess it goes back many years to when I was a kid. The apartment building I lived in, we had, over the years I was there, it ended up having 3 different fires. So I was carried out as a child by a firefighter. So I have fond memory, you know, I have memories to go back to, you know, all of a sudden, you know, in the smoke, this big guy comes up, grabs me, and carries me down the stairs.
My father was a fireman and a fire lieutenant in this company. So I grew up, me and my brothers used to ride along as kids, so we grew up kind of wanting to be firemen like our dad.
There's a lot of tradition and history, and it's a good feeling, you know, a good bunch of guys. I mean, the whole fire service is camaraderie and a lot of jocularity, and, you know, but when the tone alarm goes off, everybody gives 110%.
Took the exam just to make my father happy. You know, I did okay. And I got called a few years later. Who knew? I mean, this was like the greatest thing that ever happened. Every time I see my father, I kiss him. I've been on 19 years. I kiss my father every time I see him to make him take that test.
My sons are on a job. My son Joe is over in Ladder 4 which is in the theater district, and we catch fires sometimes together, which is a good thing, and it's fun. And my other son, Mike, he's in the fire patrol in Brooklyn.
Stay right there just for a minute. They'll get a ladder to you. You're fine right there, okay? Just stay up against the window. Sleep. I never sleep. Let's go.
You can't beat the action in Manhattan. It's tops. It's just the emergency work, the fires, the buildings. It's just, you don't find this anywhere in the world.
It's probably one of the most difficult because the unknowns in the buildings. But every place in Manhattan is a challenge.
Everyone gives us a lot of respect because they always see us running into the burning buildings as everyone else is leaving.
It's often been said, firemen are little kids that never grew up. We like jumping on this big red, white truck with the flashing lights and going down, and then everybody likes us and everybody waves to us. But you have to keep in mind, you go down to headquarters, there's 700 something names of guys died doing this job.
You don't show the fear like you would when you're a younger guy, but you always have that keeps you honest.
It is reality, as far as in the city of New York, that you are gonna lose some of your fellow brothers, battling the Red Devil. You just have to keep going. Rely on your training, instincts, knowledge passed down from other firefighters, and just luck of the draw, I guess. Sounds very cliche-ish. You kiss your old lady goodbye when you leave and you might not come home. But it's real. I mean, wherever you put that, each individual guy puts that in a different spot in his head. But it's always there. And if it's not, I think you're kidding yourself or you're not being honest with yourself.
Kids love the idea. They understand what I do is dangerous. They're concerned, but they're also proud. There's nothing more special than that, They know, Daddy might not come home. We don't. That's a possibility.
Sometimes you could have the most experienced guys and everything on the scene. It's just there's certain situations that are outside of our control.
Just when you start to feel confident in yourself, this job has a way of humbling you. Just when you think you know what you're doing, you get a curveball thrown.
But it's there. You're going into something that's totally out of control.
It's a second family. You're with them more than 40 hours a week. And we go through difficult times together, and just like a family does at home. You have good times, you have bad times, and you share those times together.
The job pretty much stays the same because the breed of men are the same, and a good breed of men are good men.
A word of praise from our brothers is worth $1 million for a job well done.